Looking at the traffic roll by. I'm, the place we're staying at is at a fork in two busy roads, and so it's pretty constant traffic. Not my favoriteest place to be. I prefer to be in the mountains and woods and parks that are quiet. But you know what? I'm really grateful for all the time in the past 22 months that's something that I spent time doing was amongst exercising and working on my osteoarthritis and working on self-care and stuff. I went to parks where there was lots of nature and sat quietly and learned things. So I just got news. I got woken up this morning by the hotel saying that apparently they have a 12-day stay rule, and we've already gone over it. Some friends had paid for us to be able to stay till Monday, though we can only stay one more day according to the hotel's rules. I knew something was going to pop up, especially as we neared the full moon in Gemini in 2 days, though I wasn't sure what. So I'm definitely feeling the feels. I went through and contacted people. I'm kind of in a waiting space in this moment. I'm lucky because a friend that I had reached out to that I knew through Pagan Communities works with one of the local housing authorities and gave me a list of places that are available for rent. She's hopefully going to get me. She said the app. I'm not sure if it's an application or if it's a like as in the form to fill out or if it's like an app to look at the apartments. But I already checked them out and stuff, and I don't know. Like I'm hoping that that's our saving grace right there because I had an apartment that I applied for, and the good news is that I meet all of the qualifying factors except for I need more income. And the hotel we're staying at says that they will hire me as soon as we're not staying here. So I'm between the like 3D of oh my god, like what do we do? Like I can't start working here and get a job, official job letter to be able to use for the apartment that I looked at until I'm not here. And so now we're being moved. Now we have to move out of here. Obviously, we have one more day. Thankfully, that we've been good. We've been good hotel residents. I chatted a lot with the maintenance and people here, and so they like us, and we get at least one more day. Though that's like oh crap, because I was trying to figure out how to get like I've had several people offer jobs through friends and different things. I mean, I've done a lot of things, so I have access to that, though being able to get through to people, and some of them said, oh no, sorry, the job was just filled, and others are just, everybody wants you to go through Indeed, which is fine. However, when you go to Indeed, half the jobs that they say are listed there are not there. And then you got to try to call them back and get a hold of them. And I've had some friends that said they've donated some money, which we could really use right now, though it's not coming through, so I don't know like what the deal is with that. I do know with, full moon eclipse in Gemini, it's not quite as the same as Mercury retrograde, especially in Gemini, but it can cause some similar things. And this is like one of the last eclipses on the Sag Gemini axis too, so I'm not entirely surprised to have some technology challenges. It's just one of those like, ah, like, but it's funny. I put in the title, this is one of the first episodes of our homeless times, where I put something on there because I saw a song yesterday that came on just when I finally had done the last few things that I could do for a little bit, and then now I gotta center myself. I got to alchemize these feels, and I need to go do some more door dashing and work so that we at least have some cash on hand tomorrow, especially if donations don't come through, in terms of the PayPal and Cash App and stuff. And the song was the next right thing. I believe it's from Frozen 2, but it might be from Frozen 3 if there's a Frozen 3. I have not seen those ones fully yet. I've seen parts of them, but I know the musical score, and so I was like, you know what? That sounds like a song that would probably be very fitting for right now. This was yesterday, and then just listened to it today. I was like, yep, it is. Like, Elsa's climbing a mountain in the middle of the dark, and she's like, I don't even know how the story of the movie goes, but I can tell it's like things have not gone to plan, and it's dark and it's cold, but she's like, I'm not going to think too far ahead. I'm not going to think like way ahead. I'm going to think right now. I can take another breath. I can take another step. I can keep going in this direction. And then, of course, the sun starts to rise. And I really thought the song would get happier at the end, just considering how they've always played out Elsa as like the eternal optimist and stuff, which makes sense. I feel very similar in that, like, I'm in between the feels of like I'm human. I know a lot of people like that know me kind of think that I'm like 100% optimistic all the time. Like it's something that it's a skill that I developed, like it worked. Criticism and negativity and anxiety are practiced. Like they become a part of our nervous systems, like practices over time. And the same thing happens with positivity and gratitude and optimism. And the more that our body becomes familiar with those things, the more we practice them, the more we even become used to times of day where we might spend a certain time of the day like panicking about various things. And the funny thing for me in this moment is I've done such a good job of rewiring so many things that it's like there's a part of my mind that's like, you should be panicking right now, but you're not. You're uncomfortable. You're in action mode, but you're not panicking, and that's a good thing. However, it is different. It's different because in the past, like, had something like this happen, I would have. Well, actually, let me rephrase that. In the past, I would not have, like, left behind all the codependent connections with my family, with pirates and potatoes. I would not have let those go because I would have been too afraid of a situation like this happening. And so I wouldn't have allowed myself to be put in this position. And this is where all the loops and cycles get changed because it's new sets of things to do. Like I've actually gone through for gosh, let's see, when were we in the Blue House in Seattle? Like we were there for like 15 years, and even before that, I mean, I because I got pregnant early on, and then various things happened in between there. I've been dealing with Washington State Welfare (DSHS) for a long time, and have applied for Section 8 and Housing Authority stuff and WIC and all the different things that you can do, though, because I had maintained the codependent connections with others, there was always other options, and so they never put me on any priority lists. I was on a lot of waiting lists, Housing Hope, Habitat for Humanity, a lot of that stuff. And now, in the position that we're in, when it's like, okay, we definitely need a place right now, they're saying, like, there's so many people up here from the different natural disasters going on, the floods, the tornadoes, the hurricanes, like all the stuff that the funds are very limited on what they can give, like in TANF, for needy families. And like the only time you can get what's it called, a housing navigator, so you can get into housing, is when you've been either in your car or on the streets for at least a day, and then like you have to kind of stay that way for 2 weeks in order for them to like get you into a place, or well, to get you on the lists to get you to a place, right? And a lot of the shelters are full, and they have a lot of sick people, trying to avoid that for sure. And we have my 16-year-old autistic son's emotional support bird, a cockatiel, with us, which also creates complications in where we can stay. And he has to stay at least, 65 degrees or more in order to be comfortable for him. So, there are some interesting challenges going on. Some people that are willing to help, like if we can get into a place. I don't know how much. I mean, there's been various different communications, and it's like one end of me wants to trust the information I'm getting, but everybody communicates at different levels. You know what I mean? Like some people give lots of information, some people give no information, or like tiny little bits. Other people are very logical communicators and only communicate in short spurts, and other people communicate in length, and you got to read through and get all of it. And others communicate emotionally, and you got to be able to figure out what's emotion versus what's real, you know, and there's like so many different things to discern, like which one was it, door number 1 that will get you where you want to go, door number 2, door number 3. And then I have to watch for thoughts of like, if only we didn't have the bird. I don't want to say that. My son loves that bird, and that bird is so happy. Like, even to be out of the house that we were at and out of the apartment that we were at and all that stuff, like, how could I say if only we didn't have the bird, right? Like, that's the... And I know that these particular challenges are... they're helping me learn something that will be useful later. It's kind of, it reminds me of a call that I had with a lovely divine feminine who, like, she had a book that someone gave to her, like, I want to say it was like something like 14 or 15 years prior. And then when we talked, she had started seeing signs and syncs of like bits of that book. And she had never really understood for all the years before then why that book was given to her. Like, it seemed really significant, and the person that gave it to her was like so in their connection, so it was like definitely spiritual, but not sure what all the stuff was. And then we talked about it, like there are times that happens. That's why one of the important spiritual lessons is you don't need to know everything all at the same time. You don't always want to either, but I feel like there's many things. I was thinking about it last night while I was door dashing, like, okay, I have more information about this thing, and I have more information about that thing, and I know about this thing, and I know that I have this, and this that I have to look at, or that I need to get more information about, and like other things that are like, yeah, that's done, and that's done, or like those routes are temporarily closed off. I don't like to say anything is closed off permanently, like things open up all the time, though. Like, day-to-day stuff like that happens. And I remember I was saying something to a friend that was helping us pay for the hotel that was like, one of the complications, especially with neurodivergence, is when you feel like you've got to leave every few days and like constantly trying to be packed but not packed and like do different things. And you know, I'm not even ungrateful for it. It's just like learning new things about myself and about the different things going on, you know, like, okay, it's like the song, The Next Right Thing. Okay, if I slow down and I just think about right now, like, I can take some deep breaths, I can do a little bit of packing, I can think about who else I might know that could help with another step, or that might know something that I don't know, you know, and then I can think a few days beyond that, right? Like, what things could I do today that might help put me in a better position in a few days, right? Like, a lot of the places that you know, I'm much better at getting jobs when I can walk in and talk to a manager. And I've already talked to plenty of managers, but a lot of them definitely go to they still want you to go through Indeed, which is fine. Like I said, the complications are that sometimes the stuff like expired or isn't there, and then you got other stuff to do. And like, so I'm thinking, you know what tests can I do to, you know, like Indeed has little tests and stuff that you can do, or what jobs could I apply for like right now and do it, or where could I go to secure something right now, you know? And those are the various different things that I'm thinking about. Like, okay, I know that I have right now stuff to do, packing the room, managing my son's, well, not managing his emotions, but helping him manage his emotions, figuring out where we're going to be over the next couple of days. That's immediate stuff. And then trying to get more donations and stuff. Wow, sorry. See, there's all sorts of noise going on, right? And then making sure that, like, what sort of self-care stuff can I take care of just in case we don't have another room, or we don't have something else, somewhere else that we can go, you know? Like, what things can I set up if we have to have the bird in the car? Like, how much gas do I need, and where would we have to sit? And if we do end up in the car for even a night, like, how quickly can I get a hold of the housing navigator person? Because that would be nice too. And like, but then goodness sakes. I think that Spirit's telling me that it is time to wrap this up because maybe there's something coming in that I can access right now because all this noise coming in certainly isn't helping with stuff. So, if you're able to donate, that'd be fantastic. If you'd like to maybe pre-schedule a reading or something, I've got a couple of people that I'm waiting to hear from in terms of scheduling and for time zone stuff, but it would be nice to get that done. And if you happen to be in Washington State and you know of any other resources, please feel free to list them. I've probably gone through most of the common ones. In fact, I know I've gone through all the common ones, but if you know of any like side avenues, that would be welcoming and stuff. Was it? Right, yeah, yeah. Well, you're right, but I can get to. That's funny that do you. I assume you do DoorDash too. That's hilarious. Yeah, and I love DoorDash. The hard part is that like the Explorer that I'm in definitely needs a tune up, and like the gas to delivery rate is challenging, especially with like I also have to remember to do. It's funny, this is helping me improve a lot of like the challenges of some neurodivergence with the executive functioning stuff. It's strengthening it. It's definitely a point that I needed more assistance on. Like I can do it when I'm at a job, strangely, like I think because they already have the order set, like this is the priority here. But like, I can't, I could just go and DoorDash all day. However, then there's stuff that doesn't get done around the hotel room. Like, I got to make sure that it stays cleaned up and that we keep things in at least a reasonable order. I got to make sure that I reach out to the people who are helping. I got to make sure that I take time for self-care for me. And then there's neurodivergent stimming stuff. Like, if just going and if it was just me, it'd be like going on the Wickedly Divine Feminine tour, the road trip. Like, yeah, I can DoorDash until I have enough money that I'm comfortable for the next day. But right now, it's like, how much can I do with that until I have enough gas to basically get back to the hotel? And that's where I'm limited on it right at the moment. Yeah. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for positive prayers and definitely aligning with divine timing to get wherever is next. I know that this is Spirit saying it's time to get out of that place. I'm good with that. It's just where are we going next and what are we going to do for cash in between? So I love you all. I might be back on later. I was going to do a full moon releasing that everybody can join with in the next few days. So keep an eye out for it. I'm sure Spirit will help make time for it because it's been in my mind a lot. All right, y'all. Peace out.